2 Timothy chapter 3, starting in this chapter, it talks about some different kinds of people to avoid. And it ends that section here in verse 5. And it says, having the appearance of godliness, but denying its power, avoid such people. So having the appearance of godliness means that I can appear godly and I can deny the power of God because his power is not what gave me this appearance. So I can put on the appearance of godliness. I can say the words, have the speech, and look like it. Because if you'll remember when I was growing up, I idolized Rod Parsley. I want to be Rod Parsley every day, all the time. I would watch what he did. I would move my hands the way he moved. I bought shoes that would slide across the stage so that like on that carpet I could just get that move just like he got it because I saw that. And there was a form of godliness that I saw in him that I wanted to do till I realized that godliness came from him and through his power. And so I bring that up today to talk about mothers. Mothers not in the sense of, yes, mothers in giving birth and things like that, but also in the spirit, called auntie, nana, cousin, but that person that have spoken into our lives, raised us up, and been the very reflection of God to us. Those ones that have taken care of us when nobody else did, didn't give up on us when everybody else did. That person that doesn't have a form of godliness in that they look like it and act like it and present this perfect picture, but the ones that actually dug down deep, the ones that sat there when nobody else would, the ones that checked in the middle of the night to make sure that you were okay, those are the mothers today. These are the ones that have the power that God has given them because God has worked through them because they were willing to say yes. So here we go. The scene matters. Not really. So today it's more about appearing to do good than it is actually doing good. It means that we can be good without God, so we don't need him. I want to look like it, but I don't want to actually be it. I want people to think I'm it, but I don't actually want to pay the price to become it. Mothers pay a very significant price. Whether birthing a child in the spirit or through their physical womb, there is a price paid for carrying a seed and praying over that seed and caring for that seed, that gift that God has given them. You go all the way back. You've got Hannah and her grief, Sarah and her impatience, Mary and her concern about the social norms for the day. And God wasn't looking for somebody perfect. He was looking for somebody who said yes. Amen. He didn't look for somebody who had a form of godliness, but that could truly say, I trust you, God, with what you want to do with me and the seeds that you have given me. Amen. Timothy here, Paul writes to him and says, you've got a lineage. You've got a grandmother and a mother who were faithful. They didn't have stages, but they had a legacy of godliness and power. So now we talk about the unseen. 2 Corinthians speaks to that very clearly in chapter 4, starting in verse 16. It says, so we do not lose heart. Though our outer self is wasting away, our inner self is being renewed day by day. Hallelujah for that. Amen. For this light momentary affliction. Boy, it doesn't feel like it, does it? I mean, anybody who's sat there and gone through the 9-month waiting period, that seems like anything but a short affliction. And just the onlookers, it does not look fun at all. It's preparing us for an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison. As we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, but the things that are unseen are eternal. It tells us in Psalm 139, that we were knit together in our mother's womb. Meaning that there was something unseen that took place that was going to change the earth. Think about that. If you believe any at all in some sort of chaos theory, where they say, and chaos theory is if a butterfly flaps its wings on one side of the earth, on the other side somewhere there'll be a tornado or a hurricane eventually. So there's some of these things where one little thing somewhere else is going to affect something somewhere else on the earth, making global changes. There's scientific evidence that says that every word that has ever been spoken on the earth still exists in the atmosphere. Wouldn't that be awesome to actually tune in to the words of Jesus that were spoken while he was walking this planet? Change the earth, still spoken over. The power of life and death is in the tongue, Scriptures tells us. Think about the words of Jesus that are ever brooding over this earth. Just surrounding it, constantly bouncing around in the atmosphere, in the heavenlies, that we don't see, we don't hear, but is actively doing and moving and transitioning and declaring the word of the Lord. So it is the unseen things. We were formed in our mother's wombs, as Psalm 139 says. We were carried unseen by the one who is willing to carry us. That's what matters, that unseen thing. Because I can tell you from personal experience that there is a time that is called transition in the birthing process. And what it means is that there's a transition from the person who you married to somebody else. They are no longer that person. And they no longer recognize you as their husband. There's, I don't know, I think in psychology they call it dissociative identity disorder. But there is multiple personalities taking place during the transition period. And if you know how like in SeaWorld they have the splash zone? You don't want to get in the splash zone of the transition time. And what that means is arm reach or in throwing distance. And, you know, they have these videos where in these crisis moments that people will have these adrenaline rushes. And in those moments, like you'll see people who could not normally lift something, they'll just like lift up this big helicopter and like this person comes swimming out. And it's like, how in the world were they able to do that? Of course, we know the miraculous and we know how God works and chooses to do those kinds of things. But it's like that. Like they could not hit the side of a barn with a basketball. But boy, they are precise. Like a sniper during the transition. Like that's why you know it's a different person. And it's like they can get you almost anywhere in that room if you get close enough and if you say the wrong thing or look the wrong way or smile the wrong way. You just get behind the doctor or the nurse or somebody. I'm just telling you, there's this period that there is no such thing as having a form of godliness. Because there is an unseen thing that needs to be birthed to the earth for such a time as that moment, to bring about a kingdom establishing. And the mama has to go through all kinds of stuff to get that thing in the earth. Thus, we're all here today. And it is those unseen things that make the biggest difference. It is the unseen things that created this earth. It is the unseen things that continues to speak in existence over your life. It is the unseen things that's making intercession to the Father for you right now. It is the unseen things that's being dispatched on your behalf to make sure that every promise and every purpose and every blessing that God had for you to accomplish His will for your life, those angels in the unseen world are being dispatched on your behalf right now to prepare the way of God in your life to establish this kingdom, to establish this purpose, and bring it closer to Him.